What does your body feel like in zero gravity?
What inspires you to become an astronaut?
What exercise do you do, and do you sweat in space?
Would a yo-yo work in microgravity?
So it works.
Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
We are ready for the event.
Genes in space. This is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Genes in Space. How do you hear us?
Hello, Genes in Space. Welcome to the International Space Station. We hear you loud and clear.
Excellent. Our first question comes from Liza Rezes, one of the winners of the most recent Genes in Space competition.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Rezes, and I'm a sophomore at Stuyvesant High School in New York City. My question is, how has spaceflight affected your interactions with others or changed your perspective about life on Earth? Thank you.
Hello, Lisa, and congratulations on your winning the competition for Genes in Space. We're all proud of you. That's a great question, and I can tell you that much of the work we do relies on the interaction with others, especially our international partners. We work and train with them for years before we actually fly in space together, and everything on ISS is about the interaction with those other people, even our crewmates from the United States, the people that we live with and work with all the time back in Houston. We couldn't do anything without great communication, working together with our mission control team. So I think one of the most important aspects of successful and safe spaceflight is the communication and interactions with other people.
And our next question comes from Sophia Chen.
Hi, my name is Sophia Chen, and I'm a sophomore at Lakeside School in Seattle, Washington. And my question is, in addition to the Genes in Space 5 experiments, what other experiments will you be doing on the ISS? Will you do experiments in multiple fields of science, such as physics, as well? Also, what experiments on the space station stood out to you or surprised you?
Well, hello, Sophia, and congratulations to you too for doing so well and winning in the competition. We're very proud of you as well. Thank you. And those are some. That's a really good question. We have at any given time 200 to 250 experiments that are being worked on the International Space Station. But some of the big ones that I've been working on include Apex and Veggie, and they include growing vegetables. We grew lettuce and actually harvested the lettuce and ate the lettuce. We're also growing plants such as grass to see how they germinate and how the roots grow. We're looking at combustion, and we're looking at capillary fluids flow. And we're taking part in also a lot of human research, such as what happens with our blood, what happens with headaches and fluid shift, and what happens with our bone density and things like that. So lots of stuff going on here, and it's an amazing place to be.
And our third question comes from a contestant in the Genes in Space contest.
Hi, my name is Jenna Shukera, and I'm a sophomore at Leon M. Goldstein High School. My question is that when in space, are your REM sleep dream patterns altered? Do you dream any more or any less than you did on Earth? Thank you.
That's a great question, and I've been asked that several times about dreaming in space, and I can tell you that I've been here on this mission now for about 8 weeks, and I can only remember dreaming twice in that entire time. Now, I don't know if that means I'm forgetting my dreams or I'm just not dreaming as much, but that's been my experience so far. On my previous missions to space, which were much shorter, I also don't remember dreaming. So I can't tell you scientifically or quantitatively whether or not the REM sleep pattern changes, but I can tell you that I don't remember dreaming much since I've been here, and I do dream much more when I'm back on Earth.
Thank you. And our next question also comes from a contestant.
Hi, my name is Amalia Corniego, and I am a sophomore from Leon M. Goldstein High School. And I was wondering, what is the hardest aspect about space to describe?
Well, this is a really cool place to go. It's very interesting, and there's lots of fun things to do. But being up here, there's a lot of things we want to do. There's a lot of things that our science folks want to do. There's a lot of things our operational folks want to do, and there's a lot of things our maintenance folks want to do. So the schedule gets very busy. So the hardest thing is how to integrate all of that and be effective and manage our energy so that we can do great work, great quality work, and get it all done.
Thank you. And question 5.
Hello, I'm Lance Bryson.
And I'm Ashley Kerriman. We are in 8th grade and representing Tennessee Christian Preparatory School.
And our question is, do you ever have free time aboard the ISS?
If so, what do you enjoy doing?
As a matter of fact, we do have free time in space, and one of the things we like to do is play a little music, and Scott and I have done that on a few occasions now. Pull out our guitars and play a little music. We also have another guitar player, Ricky Arnold. So in addition to that, we occasionally will watch movies together or have group or crew dinners. And then one of the other things that we like to do is look out the window and take pictures of Earth.
Excellent. And we have the last of our taped questions from Zach.
Hi, my name is Zachary Feldman. I attend school at Prairie View Middle School in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. And my question is, what is it like to exercise in space or the space station?
Well, exercising in space is a little different from on Earth because if we are trying to do load-bearing exercise, we don't have gravity, so we have to have resistive type of exercises. So we have a machine up here called ARED that we do resistive exercise on. We also have a treadmill, and so going out for a run's a little bit different because you have to wear a harness so that it holds you down to the platform that's rolling around so that you can exercise and move your legs. So all in all, it's kind of like Earth. You go through the same motions, but it's just a little bit different because of the different things we have to wear in different areas. We typically exercise for 2.5 hours a day. We spend an hour and a half a day lifting weights or doing resistive exercise, and another hour a day doing either the treadmill or the stationary bicycle.
Outstanding. Thank you. We're coming down here to Houston for some of our live questions next. All right.
Hello, my name is Joshua, and I'm from Baylor College of Medicine Academy at Ryan. And my question is, what else can you see from space besides Earth?
It's a good question, and I can tell you that Earth pretty much fills up almost our entire field of view. It's possible for us to look out into the stars, but what you need to remember is that we're only 250 miles above the planet, so everything in space is still relatively speaking, just as far as it looks as if we're on the planet Earth. We have great views of the moon, and occasionally when our orbit dips south at the right times of the year, we can see fantastic borealis and what you call the night lights, aurora dancing in the sky. We have wonderful, fantastic views of those. And in fact, those green lights, those curtains of light, almost look like they're enveloping our spacecraft. So that's what we see is the Earth primarily, but we also have great views of those other conditions of our atmosphere around us.
Excellent.
My name is Jade from Chris McCullough Middle School, and my question is, what all do you have to do to get prepared for a spacewalk?
Well, there's an awful lot of work to do to get prepared for a spacewalk, and assuming we're up here and we're starting our preparation up here, first thing is we got to make sure that the systems are right. So we do a lot of work on the spacesuit. We flush it. We make sure the cooling fluids are right. We make sure the batteries are working. We make sure all the systems are working inside the suit so that we can be safe and effective when we get outside. Then we make sure that the procedure is right, and all of this is a big, huge event for the ground team as well. We literally have hundreds of people looking at this stuff along with us up here on the space station. But we go through the procedures, we make sure we got everything right, we make sure all our tools are prepared, and lastly, we make sure our bodies are prepared. We're well rested and well nutritioned because it is an Olympics class workout for 11 hours in the suit to get 6 to 7 hours outside in the doing a spacewalk.
Hi, my name is Deacon Rambaransing. I'm from Westfield High School, and my question is, how do you handle all the garbage and waste on those space stations?
Well, I can tell you that's one of our big challenges up here is what to do with all the garbage and waste. And really what we do is we collect it. We store it up until which time we have an arriving spacecraft, a cargo ship, that we can load that garbage or trash into and basically send it back down to Earth through the atmosphere. And with the gases and the energy required to essentially break through the atmosphere and return to Earth and slow down the spacecraft, that pretty much incinerates everything that's in the spacecraft and allows it just to fall as tiny particles or really just dust as it falls back down to the Earth.
Hi, my name is Kate Hancomer, and I'm from Anahuac High School. And my question is, how does the food taste on the International Space Station?
The food actually tastes really good. I just had a cheese tortellini for lunch. It tasted great. I had spaghetti and meatballs last night. The day before that, I had some steak. And it's a little bit dry. Sometimes you have to, be a little creative. But all in all, it tastes great.
Hi, my name is Adiola from BCAMA at Ryan, and my question is, what is the coolest thing you've seen in space?
I think the coolest thing I've seen in space is an arriving spacecraft. It's really amazing to look out the windows and for a long time feel like you're just floating above the planet all on your own, and then suddenly to see in the distance getting closer and closer a space vehicle to rendezvous. And that's a pretty exciting day for us to know that we have supplies coming or another crew arriving to visit with us. But it's really spectacular to know that there's another spacecraft orbiting the Earth at 17,500 miles an hour, and that relative velocity between our two spacecrafts will eventually be zero as we join up and become one.
Hi, my name is Shatoria Davis, and I'm from Chris McCullough Middle School, and my question is, how do you handle emergencies on the space station?
Well, that's a good question because we don't like emergencies, but we have to be prepared for them just in case. We do a lot of training on the ground. For 2 years prior at least, we practice emergencies that we could possibly see up here. But in general, we have a book, the emergency book, that we actually has all our procedures in it. So if we see a certain emergency, we know how to execute that procedure. And so if, say we hear the alarm or we see something happening, we will warn each other, and then we'll all gather at a safe place, and then we'll work the procedure until we get to a safe condition. Ground is actively involved with helping us, and there's a lot of communication that goes on while we're working our procedures.
Hi, my name is Keaton Spurlock. I'm from Westfield High School, and my question is, how do you take a shower?
We don't take showers. That's one thing that we cannot do in space. But every single day when we're done exercising, we more or less take a sponge bath, which means we get a very large bathing cloth, and we replace those every 2 days and soak it with large quantities of water. It has a small amount of soap in it. And first what we do is wet ourselves down with that and wipe off all the sweat, and then we take a dry towel and dry ourselves off. So our version of a shower is more like a sponge bath, and we get to do that every single day.
Hello, my name is Joshua Hoskins, and I'm from Anahuac High School. My question is, who has inspired you to become an astronaut?
Well, Drew just whispered in my ear that it must have been him. Yeah. Anyway, for me it was the early Mercury and Apollo astronauts that sparked my interest when I was very, very young, and then other inspirations such as professors and family members that encouraged me as I went along became very inspiring as well. And there was one other person that helped me stay inspired in aviation and space, and that was Jimmy Doolittle. He's an American hero. If you ever get a chance to read up on him, I recommend it.
Hi, my name is Megan Shamushaki, and my question is, how long do you have to train to go to space?
Well, it depends on where you want to start counting. When astronauts are first selected, they train for roughly a year and a half in what we kind of considered as astronaut boot camp, where they get knowledgeable about the space program, the general systems on the space station and other spacecraft that we operate. And then when you're specifically assigned to a mission, you can expect to train up to about 2 years before actually launching into space.
Hi, my name is Daniel. I'm from Christa McCullough Middle School, and my question is, since the first piece of the space station was launched in November of 1998, does it feel new or old?
You know, the space station, for being as old as it is in remarkably great condition. It is a little filled up. We're doing a lot of experiments. We're doing a lot of operations. So there's lots of things around and a lot of things happening. But all in all, it's not in bad shape. We keep up with the systems pretty good. We keep it as clean as we can, and I think it's going to make it a long time.
Hi, my name is Marco from Westfield High School, and my question is, how fast does your body adapt to being back from Earth?
How fast does our body adapt from being in space once we get back on Earth, I think, is what you had asked. And the answer is we feel like it takes about 1 day of recovery for every 1 day in space. And a lot of those recovery aspects are not noticeable to us, but medically speaking, that's what we consider the total recovery time. Now, the reality is that there are some things that we don't recover from, or our bodies don't actually change back to the state they were in before we went into space. And one of those is the microcrystalline structure of our bones. We regain our bone density. In fact, we maintain it fairly well because of the exercise we do in space. But the structure actually changes, and that's something that doesn't go away once we return to Earth.
Hello, my name is Brandon Hoskins, and I'm from Anahuac High School. My question is, what did you learn in school that helps you the most in space?
Well, I'll tell you, that's a really hard question to answer because it kind of depends on what you're specifically doing. But I will say unequivocally that everything you are learning in school is important to becoming an astronaut and to doing work in space or in the space community. The most important thing that you learn in school is how to be a good team player and how to work well with others. That's critical to this community because there are thousands and thousands of people that have an impact on your daily life, and you theirs.
Hi, my name is Celeste Ishima, and I'm from BCMA at Ryan. And my question is, what is the biggest difference between your ISS mission and your shuttle mission?
Well, I can tell you that the launch was definitely different. The space shuttle is a much larger spacecraft with a significantly more thrust, and so you really feel that as you launch off of the launch pad as you rocket into space. But arriving on the space station is quite similar for both. The difference is this time I actually get to live in space. I've already far exceeded my time in space, in fact doubled it. Previously I was only in space for just about a month, and now I've been here on this mission for almost 2 months. And so I get a chance to actually live in space this time. The other trips to space on the space shuttle were really what I consider short visits, only lasting about 2 weeks at a time each. So now is a unique opportunity for me. I really get to enjoy the views of the Earth and pay attention to how everything looks down below, and really get to know the planet much better than I did on my first 2 missions.
Hi, my name is Taika from Christa McCullough Middle School, and my question is, when will you know the experiments you have performed are successful?
Well, hey, I guess it depends on the experiment. In general, I'm hoping to get some good feedback when I go through the debrief cycle when I get home, and that happens anywhere between 4 weeks and 12 weeks of me arriving at home. But some of the experiments that I've worked on up here are just one data point or a couple of data points in hundreds of data points that will happen over a series of years and missions. So those will take a much longer time. But I'm hoping in general to get some good general feedback between 4 weeks and 10 or 12 weeks after I get back.
Outstanding. Thank you, Drew. Thank you, Scott. Great questions today. And station, this concludes our event. This concludes our event from Genes in Space.
Congratulations to all the winners. Thanks for joining us. And Genes in Space, thanks for coordinating this event. We hope that we reached out and everybody learned something today.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.
Thank you to all participants from Genes in Space. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.